I haven't been bow fishing in almost 10 years. Today, we're going to fix that. So bow fishing is one of those things for me that I'm not chasing the most expensive bow I can find. I'm going to go out and I'm going to shoot every fish I can legally. My bow's going to get dropped to the bottom of the boat, bounce around in the boat. Who knows, might even get dropped overboard. For that reason, I'm not going to spend $1,000 on a bow fishing bow. I've got an old Pearson bow here that I've had for years. That's going to be my bow fishing bow for today. I went to Amazon, bought a reel seat, a Muzzy bow fishing reel. I prefer the spin cast type reel, it's just my preference. And a half dozen arrows. And I'll post links to all these in the description below. All together, bow fishing reel, reel seat, and arrows. Spent about $125 or so. And a bow that I've already had on the shelf. So we're going to put this thing together real quick, then we're going to go shoot some fish. Pretty simple procedure. This just threads into your stabilizer hole. And you've got a slot on this end where your reel goes. So we want that pointing up. And then you're going to take a 1/2 inch wrench and lock that nut down. Now, this is pretty simple. Of course, just like on a rod and reel. You got a notch there that slides over the base. This threads up tight against it, and this will lock it down. Now, I prefer mine offset just a little bit because when I shoot, I turn my bow over sideways and I reel from there, so I like mine offset just a little. So I'm going to lock this down based on my preferences. But it's that simple to get ready to go. If you notice, I've got just a whisker biscuit rest on here. I do prefer the safety slides on the arrows. So what that does, allows me to reel my string tight out front, and when I draw my arrow back, that stays out front in line with the reel. Years ago, we didn't do that. We just shot the string tied to the back of the arrow. That works fine. It will work on recurves, other bows. It'll work on compounds too. You typically don't use this type of rest if you're going to do that. The dilemma you run into, if you do that, there's times your line can get caught around the arrow rest, or I've actually even seen them get caught on the cables. It can do one of two things. It can either snatch the arrow backwards and let the arrow hit you, or it can break the line and your arrow's gone. So I don't want either one of those happening, so I prefer the safety slide method. Either way works just as good for shooting fish. Alright, so we're gonna go over real quick on how we tie our arrows on. I'm gonna show you a couple of different ways. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna tie us an overhand loop in our string. So we're gonna just make a loop like this, flip it around, pull it through, make a loop. Now, it's important that when we make that loop, we make it long enough that once we tie it on, it's going to hang out over the back of the arrow. So I'm going to say a good 5 inches long or so. So you look about as wide as my hand there, about 5 inches wide. All right. So I'm shooting the safety slide, and if you look, we have a groove in one side, not on the other side. We're going to come through from the side that does not have the groove, come around, push into the opposite hole. So you're going to look like that. So we're going to have a string on the side that has a groove, not on the side of the string that doesn't. So now we're going to pull our loop up. We're going to come over the nock, slide it down the shaft, come over the point. Now all we do, pull it tight, you tie it on, comes back and hits your stop. So that's one way, and that's actually the way that I shoot most of the time. So the big advantage of this is when you shoot through a fish is removing it. So we pull our loop out. We finished with our point before, so we're going to come up and we're going to start with our point. Go back down to the nock end, pull that loop back over the nock end, and it'll just slide right out. So the second way, and the one that's new to me, but I'm probably going to give it a try, is we've actually got a loop tied through our safety slide. So when we do that, we're going to run our loop through that loop, come over the knock, come all the way down the other end of the arrow, over the point, and then we're going to pull it tight. So it's that simple. Pretty simple knot there too. Definitely leaves you a little more length to hang behind the arrow. It's going to help with air flight when you're shooting. So both of those are pretty easy. I'll give this one a try today. Probably going to stick to the other one. The biggest advantage of being able to these again is when you shoot through a fish. If you're shooting big fish and the point's going in, this isn't going to help you. But if you're shooting mullet, or for me in saltwater, shooting mullet or flounder, stuff like that, sheep's head, where you may shoot all the way through the fish, it's a little bit of a pain to either push the arrow back through the hole or cut your line off and completely retie. So these are some ways that let you slip your line loose, pull the line back out of the fish, and then put it back on the arrow. So, all right, so there you go. That's how to tie a line on. Let's go see if we can put one through a fish. Day so far. We'll open the button there. Hit him twice, he's going to be good for fertilizer in the garden.
tail's gone too.
Actually growing his tail back, you can see that over. Hey, I want to thank you for joining us today on Archery Universe. Thanks to Kathy's excellent camera skills, we did get a couple of kills. Didn't see a whole lot of stingrays today. We've probably seen a total of maybe 8 or 9. I think I shot about 4 times. Probably shot 6 times. Got 2 of them. Happy to at least shoot something for the first time I've been in a lot of years. So had a good time though. It was nice and peaceful out there, even with a whole bunch of boats running around. God bless. Shoot straight.
See you next time.